Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matthias Wetzel. I'm a teacher here at the Department of Financial and Economic Law at Asia University. And in the next couple of minutes, I want to give you a brief little overview of the syllabus and the content of my this spring semester's course in Fair Trade Law. First of all, the course starts with a brief little introduction and overview into the purpose and functions of the Fair Trade Act and the Fair Trade Law. So what is its role actually within the framework of competition law. Included in this section, I also give a brief little overview of the history of modern antitrust legislation, notably to start with the beginning of modern antitrust lawmaking in the US with the US Sherman Act. Following these introduction, I then give an introduction into the basic economics of competition and antitrust law. Notably, as we have to face the difficulty here that this class is basically intended for law students, which are typically lacking background in economics, yet as competition law, notably antitrust law, is at the intersection of competition and economics. I want to make up for this deficiency. So topics for these sections are some basics, for example, explaining the demand and supply cycle, demand curves, but also give an overview about the abundancy of competition models and theories. For example, what means perfect competition, what is workable competition according to the Harvard School concept, and what are the neoclassic models of the so-called Chicago School. Following this more basic fundamental chapters, actually, then I start with talking about restraints of competitions, or the core part of classical traditional antitrust law. Notably first talking about horizontal restraints as defined in Article 14, or as the Chinese term is concerned, Li and He Xingwei. So for example, explaining what are traditional cartels, syndicates, why are they forbidden, what forms fall within the scope of Article 14, but also actually explaining under which conditions and under which prerequisites it is possible to gain an administrative exemptions under Article 15. Following these rather large section, I will talk about vertical restraints. For example, what are vertical resale price maintenance clauses or other restrictions which you typically find, for example, in supply and distribution agreements, or for example, also in license agreements. Next, I talk about the control of enterprises with a dominant market position, or with the Chinese term, 独占企业, as defined in Articles 7 to 9, notably explain the concepts of market shares, and actually which behavior is deemed to be an abuse in case of a enterprise with a dominant market position. And then I will directly head over to explaining what are the sanctions available in antitrust law. So notably dividing this, splitting up this into the two main parts. So on the one hand side, the administrative sanctions available, such as, for example, injunctions by the FTC for an enterprise to cease and desist from certain behavior, but also the possibility to impose administrative fines, and finally also the threats of criminal liability for certain kinds of behaviors. Next to that, I will also explain actually what possible potential remedies there are for injured person in terms of civil procedure. So what are the consequences of anti-competitive behavior under civil law? So first and foremost, of course, the invalidity, the unenforceability of anti-competitive agreements, but also the possibility to fine, for example, for compensation of monetary damages, and also actually how you would do that. So what are the main civil procedural means to enforce such claims? Yeah. Then following a brief little overview about merger control, which is a very important topic of course as well for competition law, but due to its complexity, actually it's not really suitable to be explained in detail to beginners in this area of law. I will finally then close this class in the last section, in the last chapter, with an introduction to unfair competition law and the most notable forms of unfair competition, for example, such as false advertisement or misleading advertisement and other forms of unfair competition. So this is in brief actually what I do and explain in my lectures. Of course, I'm happy to answer questions. So in case you want to know more about the course syllabus, please, of course, do not hesitate and feel free to contact me. Thank you.